Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you follow the video about the base install of Arch Linux on UEFI or MBR and you want to install the XFCE desktop environment, this is the video for you. Let's get going. So if you follow the video of the base install of Arch Linux on UEFI or MBR, now you're ready to install the desktop environment. And in this video we are going to cover XFCE, so we can just hit enter here to boot the machine. It's going to take a moment to boot up. There you go. And we can log in here with our username and the password. Now the first thing we need to do is to check if Reflector is installed, and if not, install it and execute it so that we have the fastest mirror list. So let's type in sudo pacman -s yy and then Reflector and hit enter. Enter our sudo password and hit enter. And in my case, it's already installed here. If not, you can go ahead and install it, but I'll type in N for no and hit enter. I'll clean up the terminal. And now we can use Reflector to find our mirrors. So let's type in sudo reflector -c for country. So my country right now is Switzerland. So I'll type in Switzerland here. Of course, you replace this with your country. And then -a, that means since how many hours the servers have been updated. I'm going to put here 6 hours. And then let's sort them by speed. So let's type in --sort and then rate. And then we need to save the information in the mirror list directory. So we'll type in --save. And the mirror list directory is /etc/pacman.d/mirrorlist and hit enter. So let's refresh the servers one more time. So let's type in sudo pacman -s yy and now we are ready to go. So the next step is to install the display server, the display manager, and also the desktop environment. So let's begin by typing in sudo pacman -s. So the display server we are going to use its Xwork. And this is the group of the Xwork packages, and I'm going to install the whole group here because I'm going to need anyway many other packages afterwards. If you want to have a lighter installation, you can install just the Xwork server, but I'm going to go with the full group here. Now we need to choose a display manager for XFCE, and in this video I'm going to use LightDM, which is a cross-desktop environment display manager. So let's type in LightDM. Then we need to install also a greeter for LightDM, otherwise it won't boot. So I'm going to install the standard one, which is LightDM-Gtk-Greeter. And I'm going to install also the settings for the greeter so that we can change its background and the panel position. So I'll type in LightDM-Gtk-Greeter-Settings. I'm going to install also a browser, in my case Chromium. You can install Firefox if you prefer. And I'm going to install also LibreOffice. And then we need to install also the desktop environment. So the first package is XFCE4, and the other one is XFCE4-goodies. This includes some extra packages for XFCE, and I need this to customize XFCE the way I want to. And then we can just hit enter. We accept the defaults here. Now for LibreOffice, I'm going to choose the fresh version, which is repository number 1. And this is the latest version with the latest update. So we can hit enter here. And I'm going to select the defaults here for the XFCE group and also for the goodies. And now we proceed with installation by hitting enter. So it's going to take a moment here to download and install the packages, and I'll be back when it's done. There you go, the packages are installed. Now let's clean up the terminal. We need to enable LightDM, the display manager, so that it boots up when we start the machine. So let's type in sudo systemctl enable lightdm.service and hit enter. There you go. Now we can reboot the machine. So let's go ahead and type reboot and hit enter. And it's going to take a moment here. There you go. We are on the grab bootloader. So let's hit enter here. And if everything went well, we will be greeted by LightDM. And there you go. So it doesn't look particularly good right now, but we are going to customize this in a second. So I'll enter my password here and hit enter. And now we are in XFCE. So let me here first adjust my screen resolution. So I'm going to go to applications and then settings and then display and change here my resolution to full HD and click apply. And I'll keep the configuration and click close. And now we are ready to go. So as you can see here, we have the default theme with the default colors of XFCE. You might like this theme. It's very light. It doesn't use a lot of resources on the PC. So if you have an old PC, this is going to run absolutely fine. But of course, we are here for customization. So let's have a look at what we can customize. Well, the first thing I want to do is actually taking care of the desktop. So I'm just going to right click here and click on desktop settings. So here we can choose another wallpaper. Let's say, for example, we want to go with this one here. There you go. We have also options here for menus. We can change the desktop menus here, how they look like, and the window list. And we can also change how the icons on the desktop appear. So for example, I don't need to see the home directory and also the file system, and neither I need the trash and the removable devices. So I like to have a clean desktop here. And we can click close. And right now we have two panels, one on the top and one on the bottom. So if you like this configuration, that's fine. You can customize also the second panel here by right-clicking on it, going to panel and then panel preferences. And then you can select its size. You can select also how it looks like by going to appearance. Right now it doesn't use any style, but we could go, for example, to a solid color or a background image. And we can also choose the items which appears there. Now I don't need to have actually this panel here. So I'm going to go to applications and then settings and then panel down here. And I'm going to go to panel number 2, which is the one on the bottom, and click the minus sign here. Click remove, and the panel is gone. So at first it seems a little bit bare bones XFCE, but we can customize this really nicely. XFCE is a really modular desktop environment. So we have to watch several things when we want to theme XFCE. Let's go shortly to applications here and go to settings and click settings manager. So we have two panels we need to take care. One is the appearance tab. If we click here, we can choose the style of the system. Right now it's just standard Advaita, but we could go also to Advaita Dark. And now we have basically a dark theme here. We have also the icons. Right now it's also Advaita, and we don't have any other icon installed. We have also the fonts and also some other extra settings for toolbar style and menu and buttons. So this is one thing we need to take care of, the style, icons and fonts. The other thing we need to take care of to make a consistent theme throughout the desktop environment, it's the window manager. So let's go back to all settings, and here we can find window manager. So let's click on it. Now here we can customize also the style of the window and also its fonts. So if we select a theme on the appearance tab, we need to match it here if you want to have a consistent look. So let's close this up. Now, where do we find themes to customize XFCE? Well, we have two choices here. We have a website, which is called xfce-look.org, or we can also use the Arch user repository or the Arch Linux main repository. Let's open up shortly Chromium, our browser that we installed before. So I'll go to Internet here and click Chromium. So let me go here full screen and type in archlinux.org and hit enter. And let's type in here theme. So again, we have a lot of themes we can install from here. For example, we have the famous Arc icon theme. We have also the famous Arc Gtk theme. So we could install both here and give our system a completely different look. Let's try that. Let's open up a terminal. And we have here on top the terminal emulator. And I'm going to move it here to the right. And I'm going to increase the font size here. Just a second. There you go. And then we can type in sudo pacman-s. And let's begin with a theme here. So let's type in arc-gtk-theme and hit enter. We need to enter our sudo password and hit enter and press enter to proceed with the installation. There you go. Let's install also the icon themes while we are at it. So let's clean up the terminal and type in sudo pacman-s arc-icon-theme and hit enter. Again, we proceed with installation by hitting enter. It's going to take a moment. There you go. Now let's close the terminal here and minimize the window. And let's go back to applications and then let's go to settings. And let's go first to the appearance tab. Now you see we have already Arc, Arc Dark and Arc Darker. So I'm going to go with Arc Dark here. And we have a completely different look and feel already. Although the window borders are not yet there, but we are going to change this in a second. We also install the icons, remember? So we go to icons and we can choose now Arc. And you can see already on top here we have other icons, and we open up, for example, the file manager here. We have also here other icons as well. So let's close this up, and let's close also the appearance tab, and let's go again to settings here and go down to window manager. This is the other part we need to change. Now we have also some Arc elements here, so I'll match this with Arc Dark, and now it looks much better. Now, another thing we can do here is also change the fonts of the system. Right now it has a sans bold, but we can change this. Let's click on the button. So we have lots of fonts we can choose from here, and of course we can also install some more. I'm going to try and go with this Cantarell, which I like a lot. So I'm going to choose the Cantarell regular here and click select. Now we have different fonts here on the window because this is the window manager. We need to change the same thing also in the appearance tab. So let's go back there, go to applications, then settings, and then appearance. Let's go under fonts and default fonts here. And I'm going to scroll up here, and here we have Cantarell, and I'll choose the same Cantarell regular and click select. Now the whole system font changes as well. You can see that here as well. So we can close this up. So this is one way how we can customize XFCE, but we can go further. So the first thing I want to do now is actually to move the panel. You can move this panel wherever you want to. So I'm just going to right click here and go to panel and panel preferences. And I'm just going to click this box here for lock panel because I want to unlock it shortly. And I want to grab this handle here and I'm going to move it down on the bottom. There you go. And then I'm going to click lock panel again. Now let's click close here. So we've seen we have the applications menu here. We have here our applications. We can also run a program directly from here. It's a very simple menu, but we can choose another style if we want to. Let's get out of here and right click on applications and go to properties. So first of all here, we can decide whether we want to show the title or not. So if I uncheck this box here, we see only the XFCE logo right here. Or we can also show just the text without the icon if you prefer to do that. Well, let's go back to the standard. We can change also the icon if we don't like this one. But if you remember, we installed the XFCE goodies during the installation, and that has an alternative menu that I would like to show you. Let's close this up and right click here on the panel and then go to panel and then add new items. And let's search for the Whisker menu. So I'll type in Whisker and it pops up here. So we can just click this and click add. Now it gets added here by default at the end of the panel, but we can change the order. So let's close this and right click on the panel again and go to panel preferences, then go to items, and we can scroll down until we find the Whisker menu here, and we can move it up on top. There you go. Now, because I have the Whisker menu there, I don't need this applications menu anymore, so I'll just click it and click the minus sign here to remove it. And now we have only the Whisker menu. So what is the Whisker menu? Well, let's have a look. Let's click here. So this is an alternative menu for XFCE, and it's very practical because it includes everything in one window. So we can scroll to the categories here and we can click on it and we see what's in there. It's very similar to what we have in Manjaro, for example. And of course we can customize this. Let's right click on the icon and go to properties. So we can choose, for example, the application icon size. I'm going to go, for example, to smaller here. And I want to see the application as a tree, not as a list or as icons. And if we click again, you'll see the result here. We have much smaller icons. And when you click, you see the list of the applications in there. Let's continue customizing this. Let's go shortly to behavior. And I want to check on this box here, switch categories by hovering. It just makes the navigation much easier. And this is how it looks like. We click here on the button and then we just scroll through and the applications are going to be listed automatically. So this is a very neat way to have the applications there. While we have the Whisker menu here, we have of course also the shortcuts that we can go under commands to control. We can also show switch user, logout and other things if you like to. I'm going to go with the standards here, so I'm fine. And I'll just close here. Now let's open up the Whisker menu again. How about if we want to customize here this picture or the name? Well, let's click on the picture. And you see we have a problem here because it says it failed to edit the profile because the process Mugshot is missing. So Mugshot is actually a package that we need to install from the Arch user repository for this option to work. So let's close this up and open up a terminal. So we have a search box here, so we can type in terminal. And as I said, Mugshot is coming from the Arch user repository. So for this, we need to use Yay, the helper for the AUR, which we installed during the base installation of Arch Linux. So let me first increase the font size here and type in Yay-S and then Mugshot and hit enter. It's asking us to remove the dependency after install. For now, I'm going to say no, so I'll just hit enter here. And we don't have any differences to show, so I'll just type N and hit enter. And we proceed with the installation by hitting enter. So this is going to take a second to do that. There you go. So we can close the terminal. And now if we hit again the same button here, we can use it to customize our profile. So I'm going to go ahead here and put in my name and my last name and my initials. That's enough. And then click apply. There you go. Now let's click back on the button here. You see the changes are not reflecting here, and that's because we need to log out for the changes to take effect. However, there is one thing that I would like to show you, and that is that in XFCE there is no user management panel. So let's go to settings here, and let's have a look at user management, shall we? So let's type in user, and nothing comes up. So XFCE doesn't have actually any interface to manage users of the system, so we need to install one. So let's close here up and open up the terminal again. And increase again the font size. And there are many tools we can install, but one of the ones is most used is the Gnome system tools. So the Gnome system tool package is from the AUR, so we need to use yay. So let's type in yay-s and then gnome-system-tools. You can actually manage also user from the command line, but if you want to have a graphical interface, this is one package you can use. Then we can just hit enter. And let's proceed here by accepting the default, so not removing the dependencies. Difference is to show none, and hit enter, and proceed with the installation. So this is going to take a moment to download and compile, so I'll be back when it's done. There you go, the installation is done, so we can close the terminal. Now, if we type in here in the search box user, it appears here on top. So here we can configure our user. So my name is here. We can also change the type of account. So for example, let's click change here and enter our password. We can say right now it's custom, but we can make it also administrator or desktop user. And we have also some advanced settings here. However, for the change to take effect here, on the top of the bar, we need to log out and log in again from the system. So we can right click on the desktop, go to application and then log out and click log out here. Now we can enter again our password. And now if you go to the applications menu here, you see the name is there. So let's go ahead and continue customizing our XFCE desktop. Let's open up a browser again. So let's go to Chromium. And again, I'll go full screen here and I'll set it as default and go to the Arch Linux website again. And I'll type here in the package search theme and hit enter. So we have lots of themes we can install from here. And there are not only themes, but also icon themes or sound themes, for example. If we go also to the AUR by right clicking here and click new tab, we do the same here, for example, theme. In the AUR, we have even more themes to choose from. We have several pages down here where we can choose from. So I want to install actually a theme which I like, which is called Numix. So Numix has several things we can install, and the one I'm looking for here is the Numix Gtk theme and also the Numix icon theme. So let's open up a terminal. And again, I increase the font size and I'll type in yay, because this is a package from the Arch repository, -s, and then Numix-Gtk-theme, and hit enter. I don't remove the dependency here. Difference is to show none. Enter my sudo password and proceed with the installation. So this is going to take a moment to download and install. There you go. Let's clean up the terminal and install also the icon theme. So let's type in yay-s numix-icon-theme and hit enter. Now here we can install the default theme or the theme pack. I'm going to go for the first one here. So I'll just press enter to accept the default. And difference is to show is none. So I'll type in and hit enter. Again, it's going to take a second here to download the icon. And there you go. So let's close the terminal, minimize our browser, and go to the settings here. And then let's go to appearance. And we have our Numix theme here. So let's click it. There you go. The look is already completely different. Let's go to icons. We have also the Numix icons here. We can click those. And again, we can close this and go also to the window manager, which is under settings, scrolling down the list here, window manager. And from the list here of choices, we can choose also our Numix. And now it's coherent with the whole theme. So let's open up, for example, the file browser here. Let's type in file browser. There you go. You see also the icons are completely different. The design is very nice as well. So this is one customization we can do. Let's go ahead and install something else. and make it a little bit more flat. Let's close the window here and pull up a terminal again. Increase the font size. The next theme I'm going to install is the Materia theme. And this theme is coming from the Arch main repository, so I'll type in sudo pacman-s and then Materia Gtk-theme and hit enter. Enter my sudo password and proceed with the installation by hitting enter. Now, another theme I want to install is the Papyrus icon theme. So I'll clean up the terminal and type in sudo pacman-s papyrus-icon-theme and hit enter. Proceed with installation here. It's going to take a second to do that. There you go. We can close the window here, go back to the settings, and then settings, appearance. And let's go to Materia Dark. So this one looks nice. And let's go also to icons and go to Papyrus. We have ePapyrus here. We have also Papyrus and Papyrus Dark. I'm going to go with Papyrus Dark and click close. Then I'm going to open up the window manager here, which is right here, and go up to Materia, and I'm going to choose also Materia Dark. So look at the window border here, and now it's more coherent. So we can click close, and let's open up also the file manager. There you go. And also the icons and the design here is very different. So it's a matter of choice, of course, but this is one of my favorite theme combinations. Now there is another thing we can do here to make it more Arch Linux-like. Let's open up the terminal and increase the font size. And I'll type in sudo pacman-s arch linux-wallpaper and hit enter. Enter the sudo password and proceed with the installation. Now, let's see where are these wallpapers here. Let's close the terminal and right click on the desktop and go to desktop settings. Now, we don't see any Arch Linux wallpaper here, and that's because the folder XFCE is selected. So we need to click here. We could click backgrounds, but there's nothing in here. So we need to select here other. And we need to go here under the backgrounds folder and choose the Arch Linux folder and click open. Now our Arch Linux wallpaper are populating up and they're all here. So we can select one. Let's say, for example, we are going to select this one right here. And this is how it looks like. Now, one other touch we can do is to change the icon here of the Whisker menu. Let's right click here and click properties, go to the panel button and click the icon. It's going to take a moment to open up because it's listing the icons in the system. And let's go here to all icons and search for Arch. So we have a nice Arch Linux logo here. Let's click it and click OK. And now we have an Arch customized menu here. So as you probably know, you can also resize the Whisker menu by grabbing the triangle here and making it larger and taller or narrower, as you prefer. And then you see also the icons here in the Whisker menu have changed, reflecting the Papyrus icons. So it's a very nice touch. I like these icons very much. Another thing we have to look at, it's the lock screen and our login screen. So let's close this up and let's go to settings and settings manager. Let's scroll down here until we find the LightDM GTK greeter settings. Let's click this and we need to enter our password. So here we can also choose the theme. Let me expand this window here shortly. So I'm going to go for the Materia Dark theme. And for the icons, I'm going to choose again the Papyrus Dark. And for the font, I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to choose Cantarell regular and click select. We can also change, of course, the picture which appears on the login screen, and we can also change the panel and also the window position of the login prompt. So let's say, for example, that we want to change this more on this side of the window. Right, so there you go. And then we have some other options here under Miscellaneous that we can look at, for example, the keyboard for accessibility and also the reader. But I don't need to change this for now. So I can go back to all settings. And let's have a look also at the lock screen. Let's type in here screensaver. And here we have our option. Right now it's blank, but we can select one of these. We can also install others. I'm going to select here the floating XFCE. And I'm going to say here the computer is idle after 5 minutes. That's fine. So I'm going to let this on. And under lock screen here, I'm going to say enable the lock screen. Yes. And lock screen with screensaver. That's fine for me. And I want to turn off this lock screen with system sleep here. So I'm just going to turn this off. And we need to find out also the keyboard shortcut for XFCE lock screen because it's not super key L. And let's go back here to the all settings and go to keyboard. Go to application shortcuts. And here you see the lock screen for XFCE is XF Lock 4. And we have two shortcuts here. One is Control Alt Delete and the other one is Control Alt L. So I'm going to press this now. And this is how it looks like. And this is how the lock screen look like. The lock screen window position we cannot change from the GUI. That one was for the login screen. So let me enter the password here and close this window. And let me log out here of XFCE. You can see also the icons here change for the Papyrus style and click log out. So this is how it looks like. So we have the window here on the side and we're using here the wallpaper of the user. So we can type in my password and we are back in XFCE. So customization, as always, is a very personal thing. There are many things we can do here in XFCE. XFCE is very modular on customization, and there's tons of themes you can download from the Arch main repository and the Arch user repository. And the same goes also for the xfce-look.org website. Let's have a look at it. Let's pull up the browser here. And let's go to xfce-look.org and hit enter. So you see, for example, we have wallpapers, we have themes, we have Gtk themes, and so on. So we can click on one of these, and you have a preview here, and then we can select here files, and we could install one of these by downloading it, but the easiest way is, of course, to click install here. However, for this to work, we need to install a small package called ocs-url from the Arch user repository. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's pull up the terminal. I increase the font size again, and I'll type in yay-s ocs-url and hit enter. So difference is to show none here and hit enter. Enter my sudo password and proceed with the installation. It's going to take a moment to do that. And there you go, that's installed. So let's close this up. And let's see what we can install here. Let's go, for example, for this Ant Nebula. So let's click on install here. And click install again. We click on open xdg open, and then we can click on create to install, and that's installed. So let's go back here to our appearance tab under settings, and we have here the Ant Nebula theme. So let's click this, and this is how it looks like. So we can click close, and let's go to the window manager and go down here, scroll up, and we have also Ant Nebula here. So we can click this. And now the buttons are also different. So let's close this up. And this is how it looks like. I prefer actually the Materia theme. It looks for me more elegant, but I see also this theme here is really nice. It has nice colors. And so as always, it's a matter of personal choice. The last thing I would like to show you before we wrap this up is how you can customize the terminal. So let's go back here to the terminal and pull one up. And I'll make it slightly larger here. There you go, and increase the font size. So this is how it looks like by default, but we can change, of course, the look and feel of this terminal. So let's click on Edit and go to Preferences. I'll move this to the right. So here we have some general options about the commands, scrolling, and so on. I normally don't change this. Sometimes instead of the block here, I like to have the underline and the blinking one. And now you can see it's already there. And let's go under Appearance. Under Appearance, we can change several things. If you don't like the default font here, you can click this and select another one. I'll go this time for Source Code Pro Black here and click select. Now under background here, you can choose none, use a solid color as now. You can also choose a background image, or you can make also the transparent background if you like that. So we can click this and customize the opacity. So let's make it down here, something like this. That looks good. And then under colors, you can change the colors of the font. So right now the foreground color is white, but we can change this first by clicking Use System Themes and Colors. If we do that, it looks a little different. This is a little bit too bright for my taste. So I switch this off and I click on the text color here. And I'll select, let's say, this bright green here. So, and click select. And I like this much better. Under the Advanced tab here, we can also tell the system what to do with a double click here, and we have some shortcuts options as well. Let's go back to Appearance. So what I'd like to do here also is also to hide the menu bar by the next terminal. And I don't want to see also the display borders around new windows, so I'll check this off and click Close. Now let's close the terminal and open a new app. to see the final product. So this is how it is. I'd like to remove actually also this scroll bar, and if you need the menu again, you just right click here and then go to show menu bar, and then you can go again to edit preferences, and then you can change the things you want to change. For example, here, let's make the font a little bigger. So I'll go again here, and instead of 12, I'm gonna go with 18 and click OK. There you go, that's better. And we can click close. And this is how it looks like. So this is how you can customize XFCE. It's a very modular desktop environment, and I showed you where the parts that you need to customize are. To have a consistent theme, you need to customize the appearance tab, the icons, the fonts, and also in the window manager to select the respective colors and also the respective font. So it's a lot of fun to customize XFCE, and if you want, you can share your customization with the community. If you want to send us a screenshot, I'm very curious to see how you customize your desktop environment, and if you have any tip or your favorite theme, let me know in the comments below. So this is how you can customize the XFCE desktop environment. I'll show you also where the components are to make a consistent look. It's a very fun desktop environment, and it's very light. It requires very little resources from your PC, and it's a fun to use. If you want to, you can share with the community in the comments below your customization. I'm also curious to know what theme you use and what icons you like. And I hope you liked the video, guys. If you did, please hit the like button below and subs to the channel if you haven't already. Subs always helps us out. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by visiting our Patreon website, or you can also donate via PayPal through our website as well. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.